are sorry for keeping you waiting, but it's good and we are starting the program immediately. As the Chief Executive Officer of the institution is already in our midst. Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to inform you that the Chief Executive Officer, whom we have been waiting for, is already in our midst. Therefore, it is my pleasure to invite to the high table the #1 citizen of the Federal Polytechnic, Ado Ekiti, the second alumnus rector of the institution, an engineer by profession, a man who is the chief host for today, in person of Engineer Dr. Temitope John Alape. We are happy to have you in our midst today because this is his constituency. This program is taking place in his own base. By home base, I mean his own school. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have us already in the hall, the Deputy Rector in charge of academics. He is a scientist, not an engineer like our rector, but you know, we need engineers, we need scientists, and all others to make the equation balance. It is therefore my privilege to invite to the high table the Deputy Rector Academics in person of Dr. Remi Akinwumi. Ladies and gentlemen, we know without farmers there will be no nation. No nation, no farmer. The next person I'm going to invite to the high table is an agriculturist by excellence. He is the Deputy Rector in charge of administration, Dr. Michael Akinola. The scribe of the Polytechnic is also here. As it is, she is an internally generated scribe. And by the scribe, I mean the registrar and secretary to council, in person of Mrs. F.B. Akitola, the registrar. Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speakers are here. Our keynote presenter one is our own doctor, is our own scientist. He is our own director. It is therefore my pleasure to invite Dr. Charles Ologunde, keynote presenter. Thank you very much. We also have another keynote presenter. He is also an engineer. Engineer Dr. Yahaya Olotu. Engineer Olotu will be presenting via Zoom. As we speak, he is in Gambia and is on standby. As soon as it is time for him to present his paper, we will see him on the screen. Thank you. Another keynote presenter, also an engineer, Engineer Dr. Stephen Ipijola, Please come to the high table. Thank you. You see, what God has joined together, let not this conference put asunder. I understand Mrs. Ibichola is also in the hall. Please join your spouse on the high table. Thank you very much. The Dean School of Agriculture and Agricultural Technology, Dr. Edward. Please join us on the high table. I've seen it too.
Love is not enough, baby. Come to me, Lord. Love me or you hate me, know me.
The Dean, School of Environmental Studies, Dr. Chris Odeyemi. Please join us on the high table. The Dean, School of Science and Computer Studies. I learned this on his way to the Dean School of Business Studies, Dr. Adekunle Tijani. I guess he's also on his way. Sorry about that.
Steadily every day one jẹ́ but no protection on the concepts. Baby undress, prefer more contest. We could not but do what you need, you know.
The Dean, Continuing Education Center, Dr. Luke Oluwagbemi. As soon as he makes his way here, he should join us on the high table. Then of course, the Dean Student Affairs, Dr. Olajide, Emmanuel Olajide. As soon as he gets here, he should also join us on the high table. Ladies and gentlemen, like I announced earlier, you can join this program on Facebook, Pixation Global Ventures, and also on YouTube on Pixation Global Ventures. Ladies and gentlemen, a gentleman par excellence has put together this program, and he carries or bears the title of the chairman, Local Organizing Committee. He is no other person than Dr. Femi Omotayo. Let him join us on the high table. Sustainability through innovative advances in engineering and technology. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to heartily welcome you to the opening ceremony of this conference, and it is believed that our coming here will be worth the while. Before anything, we want to go straight into taking the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. These will be immediately followed by the pledge and the Polytechnic anthem. They will now take the opening prayers. In view of this, I want to kindly, if you have the programs with you, you find the anthems on page. You find the anthems on page 5. Please, let's go to page 5 as I implore us to please be upstanding as we take the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please, let's be upstanding for the national anthem. System Ton Nigeria Limited, Tony's Nigeria Limited, and of course, the Center for Entrepreneurship Development and Vocational Studies. These are our partners and sponsors. Please, let's put our hands together for them. At this point, I want to pray your indulgence. Please upstand as we have Almighty, as I invite our former dean of the School of Engineering, Engineer Dr. Emmanuel Oluwatoyin Adeosun, to please give us the opening prayers.
Shall we pray? Almighty God, we want to thank you. We bless your name for your peace in the School of Engineering. We thank you.
I want to appreciate the LOC and its team, participants, the students that I had today, hello Nigerian students. You see, you must understand one concept, that the old people will plant trees under which they will not sit. Those trees either will grow for the generations to come. So if you are here today as a student, you must learn one thing or the other. Because tomorrow, it is our prayer that you will be greater than any one of us, provided you work very hard and you pray very well. If you peradventure, you will find yourself in a level like this to be able to fit. Well, the title enhancing sustainability through innovative advances in engineering. The Dean, School of Engineering, the Dean that is always proactive, but to confess, is one of the Deans that is very supportive. He presents his submission. You can hardly fault it. I'm very happy to have him in the management team. I love one thing. You can chastise me with the truth, but don't pamper me with lies and deceit. And best of friends are those friends that will be very frank with you. If you are not doing it right, they tell you, sir, you are not doing it right. This is the way to do it. Not the ones that will be supportive when you are even criminalizing things. I appreciate you, sir. At School of Engineering, you must find a very good replacement. Understand my language? We are moving towards that one is not part of the we have to involve. You must find an articulate replacement because he has left and is still leaving good landmarks. So, sir, I know you are very close to retirement, but we still continue to use you. God will bring you up. Thank you very much. And the LOC, under the leadership of Dr. Motayo, well, he happens to be a member of the same alumni group, that is a former student of this institution. I was telling you once, you see, I was once a student here. We resumed to this campus in 1985 on that part. We migrated from Akure. Many of you were hired from that. But it is our hope that some of you will still join us. And people like Dr. Motayo, we just pray we will continue to do it right. And when you learn to do it right, you can be sure that the spaces for you ahead. The team, together we can achieve. No tree can make a forest, and your car alone cannot make a convoy. You need the cars of others equally successful to you to make a good convoy. So your connections of today, if you like, start connecting yourself with bad boys. They become your connections of tomorrow. The people you have as people around you today, either you like it or not, they become your connections tomorrow. So please and please, the team to continue and make sure that they give diligence to those things that are necessary. Now, this conference is very important. Engineers, they have to showcase a lot of things. And you will find out that, like in communications, we find out that the spectrum is highly congested. There are too many things that are up. And when we talk about sustainability, how do we do it? We must ensure that the solutions we create today do not become the problems of tomorrow. Such solutions must be minimal environmental, must have a minimal environmental impact. It must produce long-term well-being and maximization of efficiency. When we talk about appropriate technology for us in Africa, appropriate technology must be a technology that can be understood by the common man in the street. Some technologies are important. We say they are foreign. At the end of the day, to manage them becomes difficult. And when we talk about the impact of environment, there is this concept of you reuse, you recycle. All these are the idea to help us conserve our energy. So in essence, when we talk about sustainability, innovation, whatever we are innovating now to be able to have good impact. Nigeria financial stands as crossroads. We have the human resource and the natural resources, but we have infrastructural gaps, energy deficit, insecurity, environmental degradation. All these are challenges, and also we have solutions to all these things. Anywhere I get to, I always emphasize that I'm proud to be a Nigerian, because Nigerians are great. They are great people. That is the truth. Irrespective of the misbehavior on the part of few people, Nigerians are great. Sometime ago, the best instrumentation engineer in the world happens to be a Nigerian. When you talk about computer, software development, you see Nigerians are here. These are people you cannot just rubbish. So anywhere, Nigerians are people with full potential. And that is why wherever you see a Nigeria, that Nigeria just becomes a threat to some other nationals. So, as it is, we found out that our cities are swelling, our forests are shrinking, and all these challenges present opportunities for us. There are opportunities in this country. Ask the people that like the habit of I want to jump, I want to do this, I want to do that. In Nigeria, we have abundance of opportunities. If the people that are in diaspora, if they work hard in the same manner in Nigeria, they will be far better. People work 18 hours back to back over there, and the exchange rate actually supported them. If we have a naira normalizing today, most of them will return back home. So use our advice, explore what we have here. Young engineers and tech innovators are already rising to meet these demands, from solar power irrigation system to AI, and all these things. If we are able to have policies that support them, we can be sure that we move forward. The conference will amplify these solutions, strengthen those collaborations, and shape a new vision for the engineers in Nigeria and beyond. Globally, we are witnessing revolutionary advances, self-healing, concrete, energy harvesting. If you go to Silicon Valley, you are going to see latest inventions there. It's to tell us that people are actually working. Here in Nigeria, we are working too. The only problem is that there is no synergy. In this polytechnic, like this of us, we are working on our catalog. The catalog to showcase our sellable items. We have a lot of items. It may interest you that at the last 10th month trade fair, this institution, through efforts of some of our academic staff, we were able to get recognition for what we refer to as structural stability. That's the name of the equipment that we test the integrity of buildings. Tesla went ahead to patent that product for the institution. A round of applause. The product is already patented, and the effort to get patented is not an easy thing. Tesla took it upon himself. Not that one alone. 3 of our projects, we have the language translator, that the people that are involved in that thing, they are going out now for market survey, market effectiveness. And there are companies that are ready to go into mass production. And it's to tell us that whatever we can do in the corner of our rooms that is creative, innovative, let us do it. You bring it into the open. Our Taylor's theory, integral calculus, all these things may not bring out any design. Innovation, creativity are meant for people that are endowed. When you are endowed and you are able to learn some basic facts, then it will be possible for you to bring it to bear. So please, no effort is too insignificant. We have prototypes all over. Those prototypes, we have said we have harvested them. We are bringing them out in form of catalog, and then we are going to showcase them on the world. And that will be a credit for this institution. This institution, we have people, the academic staff, they are very hardworking and great. I really appreciate them. But I know if we are able to have enough support for research and development, we go places. The conference challenges us to think beyond traditional boundaries, to transcend disciplines, and to forge cross-sector partnerships. It challenges us to focus not only on what we can build, but on how and why we build it. As researchers, students, educators, and professionals, we must commit to designing systems that are not only efficient and innovative, but ethical, inclusive, and environmental. Without missing words, we are especially privileged to have our lead paper presenter, Engineer Professor Abila Aikayo, is going to be represented. Dr. Charles Lobude is the current director of Center for Research, Innovation and Development and the anchor man in charge of all the innovations, all the honors that we are winning. And engineer Dr. Yaya Olotu is welcome. Dr. Stephen Iyola, I know he's a civil engineer, he's into a lot of road infrastructural designs. You are all welcome. I know you are going to impact us today. And all participants, please embrace the opportunity not only to share knowledge, but to implement action. Let us look forward with vision, courage, and share responsibility to engineer a vision that is not only intelligent but sustainable. Let this conference be more than a platform for ideas, but a launchpad for transformation. Let us engage deeply, collaborate meaningfully, emerge with renewed commitment to use engineering and technology as vehicles of sustainability, equity, progress. The world will not wait, and the stakes will not be higher. To the students here today, you are not just the future generation of engineers, you are the now generation. You have the tools, the knowledge, and the power to question the norms, challenge the status quo, and create impact far beyond the classroom. You must be the one who asks, how can we do more with less? How can we design for resilience? How can we ensure our invention serve not only market but communities? I have no doubt you will all leave this conference with an informed mindset to explore every opportunity and possibility in your various fields of study towards ensuring sustainable innovations in our current world. It is my prayer that the concerned state and all state actors will take appropriate steps towards implementing the recommendations that will be provided at the end of this conference. Once again, I congratulate and appreciate the Ministry of Engineering, the NOC, and everyone who has put in a lot of selfless efforts to organize this conference. God bless you all. On this note, I declare the second International Conference of Engineering and Health Sciences open, and I wish you fruitful deliberations. Thank you for being.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very inspiring welcome address. Your remarks are well noted, and it will go a long way to motivate our students here and to also realize the fact that this is just the beginning. They can get to the zenith of whatever profession they choose to go into. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going straight into the conference proper, and it is therefore my pleasure to invite to come to this side of the podium our keynote speaker for today. He is Engineer Dr. Stephen Ibijola. Please put your hands together for me.
Please.com. I just want that ganja until I go blank.
As I invite my colleague to take his citation.
Citation of Engineer Dr. Stephen Olukayode Ibijola, FNSC. Engineer Dr. Stephen Olukayode Ibijola was the first civil engineer to be employed by the Ekiti State Civil Service in 1998 and has moved from one role to another following his brilliance and hard work. Ibijola has a doctorate degree, PhD, in civil engineering from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, a Master of Transportation Engineering from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Master of Public Administration from Federal University of Oye Ekiti, and a Bachelor of Engineering from the University of Benin, Nigeria. He is currently undergoing Masters in Project Management Program at the Federal University of Technology, Akure. He is the first civil engineer in the public service of any of the southwest states of Nigeria to have a distinction in Masters of Public Administration, Master's degree in Transportation Engineering with GPA of 4.35, and PhD in Civil Engineering. He is one of the 3 selected Nigerians to undertake an international course on transportation planning and safety at the Indian Institute of Technology, India. 2 years later, he was the only Nigerian among the 25 selected participants in Africa at the United Nations African Institute for Economic Development and Planning, Dakar, Senegal, and his average score was 80%. The following year, 2019, he was the only Nigerian among 5 selected scholars across the world who took a postgraduate course on road safety at Delft University of Technology, Netherlands. He was among the 21 selected scholars across the world to undertake an international course on sustainable mobility at the Center for International Postgraduate Studies of Environmental Management, CIPSEN, Technische University, Dresden, Germany. These studies were on full scholarships. Please, I think he deserves a round of applause for that. He has received international road safety training. Engineer Dr. Ijola as an engineer with the Council of Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, in 2007. Is a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Institute of Highway Engineers, UK, Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers, Nigerian Institution of Highways and Transportation Engineers, and also a fellow Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineering. Is a member of the American Society of Civil Engineers, Transportation and Development Institute, America. Ibijola was elected the General Secretary of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSE, Ado Ekiti branch in 2023, and at present a member of the award committee at the national level of NSE, coupled with several selfless service in different committees, either as the chairman or member. He has academic publications in accredited international journals. He has also presented a public lecture and several other lectures at NSE, Ado Ekiti branch, and other institutions. Engineer Dr. Ibijola also developed the criteria table for determination of roundabout functional quality of service, FQS, which is presently used around the world for assessing roundabout performance. He has supervised no fewer than 200 road projects in different capacities, was awarded the 3rd best civil servant in category 2 in Ekiti State in 2010, and 2nd best civil servant in category 1 in 2012. He received a commendation letter for his hard work from the late Deputy Governor of Ekiti State, Mrs. Fumilayo Adoni Olayinka, in 2011. He was awarded the Award of Excellence by the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Ado Ekiti branch, in 2021. He received a commendation letter from the National Office of the Nigerian Society of Engineers in 2024. Prior to receiving an award for his remarkable achievements by the Federal University of Technology, FUTA, Civil Engineering Department in 2024. He was in 2017 awarded the researcher with the most read journal articles in the Department of Civil Engineering, University of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. The engineer has received several scholarships from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, J.W. Nelson Scholarship, South Africa, the Transportation and Injury Prevention Program Scholarship, India, and some United Nations scholarships, among others. He became the Director of Civil Engineering in Ekiti State Civil Service in 2016, but on deployment as the Infrastructure Engineer to Ekiti State Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project, a World Bank co-sponsored project. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Engineer Dr. Stephen Olukayode Ibijola.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Director, the Chief Paper Presenter, my very good friend, the technical. People don't actually enjoy life. And all these things coming together, that's where what leads to economics and socioeconomics. And all must be sustained. We should not leave our generation to cause problem for the coming generation. Though as time goes on, I'm still going to talk about cultural sustainability. Environmental stability refers to the ability of the environment to support human life and economic activity over time without degrading natural resources or causing harm to ecosystem. We should explain that. Now let's look into the key principles. When I say key principles, I expected that most of the papers that will be presented today or during this conference will center on these key principles. Conservation of natural resources. Now, what are the natural resources? Water is there. Now, I think there are a lot of work that has been done on water conservation. So, all the natural resources put together, we should be able to conserve them. We should be able to leave them as we met them. And when you look into the activity that has been done, usually in all these oil producing, the talk of oil spillage, affect aqua life, and even some of them don't even have access to water to drink. So we have to look into that. Then pollution, this is very common. Pollution from industries, pollution from environments, pollution from construction, any form of pollution that affects the air, some chemicals that we use in polluting water, we have to look into that. These are the key principles. Then protection of ecosystem, then promotion of sustainable land use. Then environmental sustainability challenges. You know, I said I'm not going deep into what I felt others would have done because I thought I'd present last. So we are just going to look into the benefits, we look into the challenges, then I'll put it to the engineers to look at the way forward. So what are the challenges? Climate change. I think I've explained that. If you see what happened about 10, 20, 30 years behind and what is happening now, we know there's problem. I think the month of June is almost gone. We can count the number of rainfall we had. When I was in primary school those days, in the month of June, we wake up early in the morning, there's rain. But I doubt whether we are witnessing that anymore. So the dry weather is affecting a lot. It's even affecting agriculture, it's affecting the food that we eat. If you look into the cost of production now, of cost of food in the market, compared to what it used to be, let's put inflation aside. You see that the turnover we are getting from farm, it has reduced. At times you see yam, apart from the fact that we use chemicals now, you see yam that ordinarily should weigh some certain kg without manure, without chemical, it has gone lean. Biodiversity loss. Now, apart from the fact that in our houses, some now raise belts. We go into aquatic, we bring out fishes. Do you know most of these things are going into extinction because of activity? Now, water scarcity have explained that, pollution will explain that. Now, what are the strategies for environmental sustainability? Renewable energy. You see, before now, I said something that God has created all we need on earth. It's just a pity that it's just now we are getting to know how these things goes. Solar energy. Do you know, if you look into what is being used for this national grid, if you see turbine, there is a fire that doesn't stop. I think all of us will know that. And when this thing comes out, what does it do? It burns air into the gases. It burns gases, poisonous ones into the air. So most of the things we think we're benefiting, I said something, I said, most of the things we created for ourselves, we have killed someone somewhere. The clothes you're wearing, if you look into the chemical they use, if you look into the energy, the gases they put into people's life, we are enjoying it, but some people have been affected. So most of these things that we do now, we have to start using natural things. We use wind to generate electricity, we use solar system, and I believe with time, we engineers, we still have a lot to exploit. Because many years back, if someone tell us that we are going to get electricity through sunlight, someone like me probably might doubt it. Sustainable agriculture. Now, when you look into this, we have to stop the use of chemicals, because most of these chemicals we call fertilizers. Rain comes there, destroy the place, and we don't even care. But now, what do we do now? We have to start restoring whatever we take from the soil. Water reduction and management. Now, let's go to benefits. When we go into environmental sustainability, it has a lot of benefits. Preservation of natural resources. Human health, I talk of that, because if the environment is okay, like I will say something. Do you know there are times when you live in some environments, you will not even have any bacterial infection like typhoid. Most of those developed nations. Why? Because the environment is okay. And these people now, they are still moving, but here, majorly in Africa, I doubt if we have started. Economic benefits, enhanced biodiversity, and increased resilience. Now let's go to social sustainability. I don't have time, we'll have dealt with each deeply, but I think I have limited time. Social sustainability is the ability of social system to support human well-being and quality of life over time without excavating social inequalities or compromising human rights. Now, what are the key principles? Human rights. Now, I said something the other time. When you talk of rights, you are not talking of rights to speech, or we are talking of your right to living, your right to go to good school, your right to access good health care, your right to have freedom of movement in good environment. Then social equity. There is no social equity, most especially in Africa. Reason being that some group of persons, they have group of places, they have places they can go, while some have places they can't go. Like it has come to the level that some of the poor man will find it so difficult to come to even this polytechnic. Why? Because no money. It has come to the level that some of the poor man will find it so difficult to have access to good quality healthcare services. So all this social inequality, we have to work on them. There should be equity. Participation and engagement. Now we have to bring people together. You know, at times when people are taking decisions, they take decision on people without actually engaging them. Let me give you an instance. There are some projects, some people just come and feel, okay, Federal Polytechnic, what we feel you need is also infrastructure, maybe a building, and the building will be there for years, but the Polytechnic does not need it. So this comes together to accumulate to waste. So you have to ask people, engage them. When you are taking a policy that will affect them, let them be part of it. Community development, I think we all know that. Then, despite that, there are still challenges. Poverty and income inequality. I will give an example on this. And I don't know how the society can address it. Where I work at the moment, if you're traveling, the same amount that will be given to my coordinator, if a cleaner, a driver, or anybody in the office is traveling, it will be given that same amount. Why? Because we are all human. But do you know what it takes when you travel with your driver? You take 50,000 naira, you're going to Abuja, and you now give the driver, by virtue of allowance, you pay 10,000 naira. And you are aware there is no hotel of 10,000 naira. And if there is going to be any, he's likely to go back home with bed book. So there is inequality. Where all this should be addressed. Social exclusion is a problem. I've addressed that. You want to decide on somebody and the person does not really participate in the decision you are taking for him. Now another one is human trafficking and exploitation. I think the World Bank has done so much on this. At a certain age, you cannot engage some people to work for you on site. But if you see what goes on in our society, all these small children, some of them are supposed to be in school. You see them all about, they are being exploited, being paid cheap money for doing so little, for doing so much. They limited access to education and healthcare, we'll talk about that. Then what are the strategies? Education and training. And look, when we are talking of strategies, I think engineers should know this. Because all these strategies, they are things that we have to address. Social protection programs, community engagement and participation, promoting diversity and inclusion. Then what are the benefits? It improves human well-being. I gave an example of you traveling and you take 8,000 naira for hotel room in Abuja, and eventually you sleep inside the vehicle. When you are driving your bus back the following day, you are stressed, you didn't even sleep well. What happens? Between Abuja and Lokoja, you doze off. So these are things that needs to be addressed. And this is a very critical issue that I don't know how we are going to address it. But in some international organizations, it has been addressed. They believe we are human, you are human. It's only the salary that differs, but all other benefits, they're the same. They reduce social inequalities, increase social cohesion, people should come together, enhance economic development. Now let's go to economy sustainability. This refers to the ability of economic system to support human well-being and economic development over time without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. If you look into all the definitions, there's something that always come up there. Without compromising. Without compromising. What that means is we should always think of the coming generation. You won't say because you live here in this short period, maximum 100, 150, and the people coming in the 200 years, you spoiled the place. There's a woman in Kenya. The woman is now saying that they should stop cutting trees. She will draw the tree and put blood. My director said something. He said he was a student in this polytechnic. Likewise, I happen to be one of the very first set of glass and ceramic tech. But if you get into the polytechnic today, do you know many of those trees around here? Do we see them anymore? And do you know, as we are cutting these trees, we are not replacing them. It implies that the natural oxygen that we get, we are reducing it despite the population is increasing. So when we start looking into all these things, we understand what it takes, what we are causing the coming generation. The key principle is efficient use of resources, long-term thinking. That's where that compromise comes in. Like what I'm doing today, what could be the effect? You know, when you come to school, you come with the aim of becoming someone. When you register at school, when you're coming to Polytechnic, you have a dream. Now, it implies that that thing you're doing, the dream you have, always think what could be the effect. How will it affect the coming generation? Then innovation and entrepreneurship, that's very, 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 very important. Because when you look into what is happening around the world now, I think technology has done so much that you can own a very big shop right inside your house, go on the internet, sell whatever you want to sell, get your money into your account. So all these innovations should start coming up in such a way that the economy of our nation will improve. Then social responsibility and recognition. Then what are the challenges? Inequality and poverty is there. Climatic change is there, that affects agriculture. I said I don't have much time, they are warning me 5 minutes. No. Unstable consumption pattern and limited access to finance and market. Then strategy. Sustainable agriculture, renewable energy, sustainable infrastructure, and inclusive and sustainable finance. Then the benefits, job creation. I've said that. When we see what's going on now on the internet, a lot of people, there are a lot of graduates that when they search for jobs, they don't see, they engage on internet trade. But I don't mean Yahoo Yahoo. Environmental protection and improves human well-being and increase resilience. Make your local ports. I don't think that is coming up anymore. When you travel to some countries, they will tell you a building is 400 years old. I doubt if you have such building in Nigeria. They limited access to cultural resources. Then strategies. Our 5 minutes, let's just go to how engineers can. Now, looking into all we have discussed, there is no call for action. The slide will still get to you. There is no call for action. And this action lies in the hand of engineers. Reduce greenhouse gas emission, conserve natural resources, promote social equity. Someone will ask, how can you promote social equity? As an engineer, all these are in your hands. Preserve culture. Like when we talk of culture, I gave an example. I think I love what is going on these days, that people have started using our ashoke to make trousers. Very soon, you see them making pure blue, and they use it as jeans. So we should start learning how to preserve what we have. Now, I said the call is on us right there. Role of engineering in promoting sustainability. Renewable energy, that's transition of renewable energy source such as solar system, wind power can help to reduce greenhouse gas emission and promote sustainability. If there is a way you can do in such a way that you limit yourself to renewable energy, I think it's better for us. I know a lot of houses now, if you put on percentage, I'm not so sure, but about 40% of buildings now in Abekita and Nigeria as a whole, excluding probably the rural areas, many of them are solar. Sustainable transportation. Do we use bicycles? Do we walk? In fact, if you look into this transportation of a thing, do you know if you take the number of the total length of road we have in Abekita and cut it into plots, do you know how much you have given out free? So we should engage in walking. We should engage in cycling. There are some countries that, I don't know, the picture is not here. If you see where they park bicycles, that the area is more than where they park cars. So we should engage in that. Then waste management. Like, I think now the issue of e-governance, e-busy, that is probably is reducing paper consumption. And when those things are reducing, our waste management actually will improve. Then social inclusion, preservation of cultural heritage, especially during construction. You see that when we are constructing roads, there are times you get to a place that probably they will say something has been in existence. They will even tell you they don't know the number of years. But because you want to construct road, you say, oh, we have to remove it. And when we remove it, with time, history will forget that thing you have removed. So we have to be careful. Challenges facing engineers in promoting sustainability. We still have challenges as well. All these challenges, there are things to be addressed. Technical challenges. You see that there are some engineers that are probably the technical capacity we expect them to have. They don't have it. What you are being taught in school is the foundation. You have to start building on it from time to time, because what you learned about 20 years ago is no more operating in the world. Like, I wonder, when I was in university, I don't think I saw computer all through. But now, in the present age, if you don't know how to use computers of today, probably you are illiterate of tomorrow. Economic challenges, no money. Social challenges, and policy and regulation challenges. There are times you come up with good ideas, but some people will tell you, no, we're sorry, we can't implement that. Do you know a lot of research that has been done in this polytechnic that could have turned around, let me say Ekiti State, that could have turned around the country, but where do we keep them? We just use it to get promotion, and that's the end of it. Are you aware most of these things are the things they use in developed nations to move forward? So we have to look into that. The innovation in sustainable engineering, green technology, smart technology. Yeah, I think that's another area that we should look into. Sustainable materials, that's when you're building, learn how to use maybe bamboo, timbers and the likes. Then circular economy. Principles. Minimize environmental impact in whatever you do. Anything you want to do, look into the environmental impact. Then maximize social benefits. Then ensure economy viability. Then practices that's of sustainable engineering, life cycle assessment. That's you look into how you can turn things around. You pick your plastic, you turn
respectively. Further solidified credentials, he pursued advanced studies at the prestigious University of KwaZulu-Natal Howard campus in South Africa. Engineer Fatik has a professional accomplishment and testament to his exceptional ability. He's a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and Nigerian Institute of Civil Engineering F9s and a current registered engineer. He has served the NSC Ado-Ekiti branch in various capacities, including as the public relations from 2010 to 2012. Having retired from active service of Ekiti State government, he was appointed by Ekiti State government immediately after his retirement as the technical advisor to Mr. Governor on road infrastructure. This to testify to his dedication and testament to his job. Engineer Fatik's contribution extends beyond his professional accomplishment. He is a dedicated minister of God, happily married, and blessed with children. His humble and approachable nature has earned him the admiration and respect of all who have worked with him. Hereby present to you and our dean, Engineer Fatik.
It is my pleasure to invite the rector of the Polytechnic Institution.
Well, on behalf of the Dean School of Engineering and the entire School of Engineering, I hereby present this award of excellence to everyone from the staff in support of the School of Engineering.
Thank you very much. Incidentally, Engineer Fatik also graduated from this institution. You can see that our graduates are going places. Our graduates are blazing the trail wherever they are. And of course, our rector is one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue with the presentation as I invite again to take the citation of Dr. Charles Ologode, Engineer Mrs. Onyemi. Thank you.
permit me to stand on the already existing protocols. Keynote presenter 2, citation of Dr. Charles Ologunde. Dr. Charles Ayorinde Ologunde was born on April 10, 1964 in Kuta, Ayedire, Osun State. He's a dedicated family man. He's happily married and a proud father of 3 children. Dr. Ologunde holds a PhD in parasitology, complemented by earlier degrees in zoology for his MSc and microbiology for his BSc. His scholarly journey is marked by a prolific career, currently serving as the Chief Lecturer and Director of the Center for Research, Innovation and Development CREED at Federal Polytechnic Ado-Ekiti. I expect us to give him a round of applause. Over the years, he has shaped minds and mentored scholars across Nigeria's leading institutions. He has authored 50 peer-reviewed publications and co-authored textbooks in genetics, ecology, physiology, and microbiology. His presentation at over 20 national and international conferences, including in Kenya and the UK, underscore its global relevance in parasitology, public health, and biotechnology. Dr. Ologunde's administrative impact is equally remarkable, having served as Dean School of Science and Computer Studies, Head of Department Science Technology, Director of Research and Development, Associate Editor SIM Journal, Chairman and member of over a dozen Polytechnic-wide committees, including academic planning, staff training, and admissions. His capacity for leadership and innovation has earned him prestigious TechFund research grants totaling tens of millions of naira and catalyzed academic linkages such as FPA, AU, IBRS research collaboration and partnership with International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA. Dr. Ologunde is also a seasoned teacher, having delivered courses across multiple disciplines, including microbial genetics, parasitology, immunology, and microbial physiology. Taught in institutions such as Federal Polytechnic Ado-Ekiti, Federal University Oye-Ekiti, and Adekunle Ajasin University Apoga Akoko in Ondo State. Supervised PhD candidates both in Nigeria and UK universities. His expertise has been sought in accreditation exercise at Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, Ogun State in 2023, Lens Polytechnic Offa in 2020, Crown Polytechnic Ado-Ekiti in 2019, Lagos State Polytechnic Ikorodu in 2018, Delta State Polytechnic Ogara in 2018. Beyond the laboratory and lecture hall, Dr. Ologunde exemplified moral clarity and spiritual depth as a pastor and a regional leader at the Scripture Union Campus Fellowship. His holistic approach to leadership, combining intellect, faith, and service, continue to empower those within and beyond academia. For his tireless devotion to learning, his exemplary leadership, and his unwavering commitment to national development, we are proud to present to you Dr. Charles Ayorinde Ologunde as our keynote speaker for this conference.
I want to welcome the rector and the other principal officer to this opening ceremony for this conference. I appreciate the keynote speaker. You will have been wondering why I wasn't the one who will give the first keynote paper. There was a little misconception. I actually thought I was going to give a lead paper. So I protested and I said no, I didn't prepare for a keynote paper, but a lead paper presentation. I want to thank Engineer Adebimpe and his team for choosing me to be part of this conference. Incidentally, myself and Dr. Adebimpe, we have been together. Our career progression has been, together. We both became chief lecturer in 2009. That's 16 years ago. And we have been member of several committees together. It's always coincidental that any committee belongs to, I will always be there. I don't know. It is always coincidental. So it's a man that I have so much honor and respect for. And I'm sure that he will be one of those who make recommendation to the director to make me the director of the Center for Research, Innovation and Development. I want to thank the keynote presenter. He has done a lot of justice to the technical aspect of this topic. The theme of this conference, enhancing sustainability through innovative advances in engineering and technology. I want to say here that although I'm going to be presenting my paper on enhancing sustainability through innovative advances in science and technology, I am also engineer Dr. Charles Olugunde. My paper is already submitted to Koren for certification. I know some of you will not believe, but there's a field of engineering now we call genetic engineering, and that is my field. And whether we like it or not, Engineer Adebimpe must write a position paper so that those of us who are genetic engineer can be also co-opted to be member of Koren. All right, so the topic I'm going to be presenting to you this morning is enhancing sustainability through innovative advances in biotechnology. And another word we can use for biotechnology is genetic engineering. Now, the word enhancing, I'm a scientist, we don't deal so much with English. When you say enhancing, simply put, improving. When you say sustainability, you are talking about maintaining. And then when we are talking about innovation, coming out with new ideas and adding value to existing ideas. So, how can we enhance sustainability through innovative advances in biotechnology? I take us through a memory lane. Nigeria gained our independence in 1960 and became the 99th member of the UN General Assembly, and since then we have been plagued with so many socio-economic challenges. We are talking about poverty, hunger. In fact, in recent time you hear citizens of Nigeria say "Ebi Power," and that slogan is still around today because there's hunger everywhere. So how can we use biotechnological tools to improve socio-economic challenges and ensure that we eradicate poverty, hunger, we have a cleaner environment, we improve the health of the people, we have food security, and we also have security of life and property. How can we use biotechnological tools to be able to do all of this? So I want to first take us through some socio-economic challenges that we have in Nigeria. Number one is hunger, poverty, unemployment, poor health, illiteracy, corruption, insecurity, environmental degradation, and infrastructural decay. These are a problem that we have in Nigeria. In fact, anytime I leave my home in the morning, I have mental and psychological problem because driving on this road from immigration, I don't pity those who are coming from Adeun and other far places, but even myself coming from immigration, driving to this place every morning, it had a lot of mental torture to my head. This morning when I was coming, I would just say, this is government vehicle, this is my vehicle. Will I be able to bring this vehicle to school today? And a lot of problems, socio-economic challenges as being on ground in Nigeria, that even a chief lecturer of 20 years can no longer bring his or her car to school again. Professors can no longer take their cars to school again. You see professors going on bike. How do we improve on all of this using biotechnological tools? 3 days ago, I came across this paper which says Nigeria loses $1.1 billion yearly to medical tourism. So we have problem with our medical infrastructure. How can we use biotechnological tools to be able to improve on our medical infrastructure? If you look under this paper, you also see Nigeria now the 12th poorest country
by GDP per capita. So we are the number 12 poorest country in the whole world. This should not be, because God has given us everything that we need for everybody to enjoy in this country. So how do we use technology to solve this problem? So when we are talking about enhancing sustainability, it should be viewed in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. And the first one under that is poverty eradication. The second one is zero hunger. The third one is good health and well-being of the people. The ninth one is industry, innovation and infrastructure. The 11th one is sustainable city and community. And I want to show us how we can use technological tools to be able to improve on all of these areas that are highlighted. For example, how we can use technology to improve on food security, how we can use technology to improve on health facility, and how we can use technology to improve on environmental conditions, and then how we can also use technology to improve on security of lives and property. I have this figure here that says when you are talking about sustainable economic development, they have so many legs. Food security must be in place if you are going to have sustainable economic development. Conducive environment must be in place. Healthcare delivery must be in place. When you put all of this together, there is going to be increase in employment and purchasing power of the people. And the overall effect of that is that there is going to be economic development and reduction in insecurity. Now, when you talk about biotechnology, we have so many branches of biotechnology. And here you see the different branches. We can apply biotechnology in aquaculture. We can apply biotechnology in food industry, in pharmaceutical industry, and in all other areas of life. And it's unfortunate that this tool I want to talk about today is a tool that most people in Nigeria today have not come to accept. Developed country of the world, they have harnessed biotechnology tools to improve on their economy. They have used biotechnology tools to be able to solve some of their socio-economic challenges. And the time is right for Nigeria also to embrace biotechnology tools to solve some of our socio-economic challenges. So I want to start by looking at how do we enhance sustainability in agriculture using biotechnology. And we have food security using biotechnology. Most of the problem we have with the current agricultural practices is based on chemical input, excessive water use, land degradation. Biotechnology offers powerful innovation to transform agriculture into a more sustainable and efficient system. All right, so here you see one of the principles of how you can use biotechnology to improve food security. In biotechnology, what we do is you discover a gene, a portion of a DNA that can give you, that you can hatch to an existing plant or animal, and then that gene will confer some advantage to this animal to the extent that, or the plant, to the extent that, we can have improved variety of some of our crops and some of our animals. So the figure that is shown here in figure 5 shows how you can select a gene of advantage that you can hatch to your plant or to your animal. Then you take that gene and put it into the existing cells of your plant. And then, as the plant is growing, it can, this gene can confer some advantages on this plant that will make the plant to yield more fruits and more products. Now, if you look at this figure 6, you see that in 2005, African country didn't embrace biotechnology because we have so many question marks. A lot of people, are talking about it is dangerous, it is not safe. And by the time you get to 2025, you see that there's a quantum leap in the number of countries that have now decided to embrace biotechnology as a tool to enhance food security. Also, we can also apply biotechnology in animal husbandry. The same process that I highlighted earlier when we were discussing about plant food security plant. You get your animal that is not giving you the best yield, and all you need to do, look for a gene that will make that animal to be more productive in terms of big meat or even other aspects of the animal. I recall there was a time I traveled to UK, and immediately I alighted from Heathrow Airport. I joined a train, and that train was supposed to take me to Aberystwyth University for about 8 hours. I looked through left and right, and I discovered that in UK they maximize their land mass. It's either you see animals or you see them planting crops here and there. You never see, them living their lands without being maximized. And when I got to Aberystwyth University, I remember a professor I went to visit there told me and said, look at this grass. It's protein-enriched grass. That if your animal in Nigeria will eat this grass, the quality of meat that they will produce, will be better. And I asked, is it possible for me to bring such plant to Nigeria so that we can plant? Unfortunately, I was unable to bring it to Nigeria. But he gave me a variety of sorghum, a genetically modified plant, sorghum, which we brought to this campus. And this sorghum variety have better yield than the one that we have in Nigeria. In fact, it is called Stay Green. In fact, my friend, the deputy rector, Akad, actually worked on this Stay Green sorghum. We brought it to Nigeria, and we discovered that it's actually Stay Green. That 3 times in a year, you can plant and harvest. And when you look at the yield compared with our conventional sorghum, it is about 300 increase. So in developed countries that have sufficient food security and embracing biotechnology to power food security in their country, why should we that are battling with food insecurity, why should we now be still doubting whether we should embrace it or not? So here you see in this table countries of the world, the hectares of land that they have used to plant crops, about 10 crops. If you look at the names of the country there, you will not find Nigeria there. So also, this table also showed that Nigeria has not fully adopted biotechnology tools to improve our food security. And if you look at this table, you see the land mass we have in Nigeria, 930,309.75 square kilometers of land. I remember when we brought Professor Louis Moore here some years ago. We went to the airport to bring it, and as we were coming from Lagos to Ibadan, he saw that most of our lands were not cultivated. And he asked me, why? What's happening? Look, everywhere is bushy. I was expecting to see sorghum, to see maize, to see crops here and there, but everywhere it just, it's just bushy. With all this land mass that we have in Nigeria, we have no business with poverty. We have no business with poverty. And biotechnological tools will help us to be able to have sufficiency in food security. This figure shows us that from 2024, the agricultural biotechnology market report all over the world shows that in 2024, about 44.82 billion was generated using biotech techniques. And then if you look at the projection, it is estimated that by 2029, about 72.27 billion will be generated, applying biotechnology tools to fuel food security. All right. Because of my time, let me quickly go to the second one. How can we use biotech tool for sustainable environment? I've dealt with how we can use biotech tools to promote food security in Nigeria, because it's one of the socio-economic challenges we have in Nigeria. How can we use it? I also recall when we were returning Professor Lismo to the International Airport, and as we were going, he saw dump of refuse on the road. It was at the thick of insecurity in Nigeria, and we were afraid, myself and the Deputy Director Waka, we were so afraid that they did not kidnap this white man on the road. And the man we asked us to stop. He said, I want to take a picture of this refuse dump. He said, please sir, don't stop us. He was stopping on the road, taking pictures of refuse dump. In fact, I remember a stage when he saw a young boy wearing only a pants. A boy of about 10 years old wearing only pants, no shirt. And the boy put pure water on his head. And the boy was okay. He came to our car to hug. And he said, stop, so let me take his gun. Nigerians are hardworking. What hardworking? And I remember he made a statement. He said, I will show this to my children when I get to UK. My own children don't know more than telling me that the network is slow. The Wi-Fi is not good enough. That is all they know about. Look at this young boy, Aki, selling to make ends meet. That is what we are, the position we are finding ourselves in Nigeria. So, how can we use biotechnological tools to be able to improve on our environment? Because without a healthy environment, it will affect food security, it will also affect our health. The same principle I shared when I was discussing about food security is the same thing. We locate a gene that will help us to be able to clear the environment. I recall when I was a student in Unilab, one of my lecturers, by now he would have been retired, Professor Nwachukwu, his PhD work was to detect an organism that can be sprayed on oil polluted area in the Niger Delta, so that this organism, as they are consuming this hydrocarbon, they will be mopping up the hydrocarbon on the surface of the water. He tried his best and was able to isolate an organism that was effective but not perfect. He was able to do that, and he became a consultant. And he was able to use this organism. But now with biotech tools, that organism that is detected there, we can re-engineer it as a genetic engineer to make it to give better performance. So through biotech tools, we can get organisms that can digest oil, digest plastic, and make our environment cleaner. In fact, two of my scientists in Science Tech, they just detected a fungi that when you spray it on plastic dung, it will digest and clear them of that environment over time. I'm going to partner with them through IBR from Crete to make sure that they come up and then release that organism for us to be able to use. Now, I've been given 6 minutes. Because I've been given 6 minutes, I have to go to Crete. What are we doing in Crete since I came in Crete? And I want to say this to challenge all our lecturers so that we know that there's a lead on. There's a lead on. It's not business as usual. When I came in as the director of Crete, the first thing I did was to ensure that we have intellectual property policy for the polytechnics. Polytechnic average has been 50 years. We don't have intellectual property policy. And that policy suggests to us that if you as a scientist, you come up with innovative ideas, what is going to be your benefit? What is going to be the benefit to the polytechnic? Because my salary is coming. I'm already afraid to even see the alerts. How can we improve our economy as scientists? So we came up with this intellectual property policy, submitted to the director. The director submitted to the legal team of the Polytechnic. They corrected it. The registrar also corrected it, and we now have that document now. And in fact, we sent the document to TEDFON, and it has been used for some of the products that we are producing in Federal Polytechnic. And in that intellectual property document of Federal Polytechnic, if you as a scientist come up with any innovative ideas, a prototype, and eventually the institution sponsor you and it gets to the market, 60% of the money or the fund that is accrued from it belongs to you. 60%. 20% of it, 20% of it will belong to the third party, and you as a scientist and the innovator, you will determine the third party. That means that you have access to 80% of the profit from your innovation. Only 20% will belong to Federal Polytechnic because you use Polytechnic facility and we pay you salary when you are carrying out the research. That is why the Poly will benefit from it. And for this, we have an intellectual property policy in place now. So don't be afraid that when you come out with your innovation, we are going to hijack it. We are not going to hijack it. We are going to be bound by laws that affect everybody. Us to trust this management. I want you to trust this director. This director is sincere. He is not looking for fame. He wants to leave a legacy that other people will build up by the time I leave the institution. Through this, we have been able to come up with some products which will soon go to the market. In the past, when there are invitation from TEDFON for people to attend training and do all of that, what directors normally do is that they will look for their colleagues, their friends, pen down their name, and they already have a and the whole school people, they won't come out with anything. So when I got there, I said, no, this one don't be business as usual. There are people who are very, very, very intelligent in this Polytechnic. I got my PhD 21 years ago. Is it 21 years ago now? In 2004. Yes, 21 years ago. My knowledge is archaic, but we have experience. So we can create a conducive environment for this young, intelligent, health scholar. We have so many of them in this Polytechnic. And what I'm doing as a director of breed is to create environment for them to try. And I've been, by the grace of God, using them to be able to put the Polytechnic in the limelight. I want to commend Engineer Olofitui when I sent out and his team. In fact, Olofitui is not here now because their product, Console, a product, a device that can measure the structural integrity of building. Anywhere you are in the world, as long as you plug that device on the building, you can monitor the structural integrity of your building. Anywhere you are in the world, through your monitor. And when we were trained for 1 year, I followed them. We were trained for 1 year, and now the product is ready. They have customized it. They are making it available. You can see the product there. If you look at that, we got national honor. That is Israel's ambassador giving certificate of patency to our team. They got it for us free of charge. That is our team. They are not here now because they have gone to the field again to use the device in building sites and then go back to Abuja in the next 2 weeks to go and report to them so that they bring investors to us who will help us to reproduce this in large quantity, and then Polytechnic Advocacy, we are here for it. Okay, you also see here Dr. Mrs. Omoshebi, who designed a machine that made waste plastic, and she has been able to do that to produce, some building materials. She followed me to the last national exhibition in Abuja, and you can see people just embracing her. Everybody wants to know what she's doing, and our work has also been patented. And now she's also on a training in Abuja. She just came back last week. She's on a training. And at the end of the day, the same process that Olofitui and the team went through, she will also go through it. And this product will also become commercialized. We call it Lede Yoruba. It helps you to be able to transact, produce financial transaction in Yoruba. For those who are in the rural area who doesn't understand English, you know, to have just plug it to your phone. It helps you to give proof. You know, we went to a language lab in Ife, and we gave them all the English, you know, financial transaction. We gave them all and they translated them to Yoruba for us. So we developed an app. When you plug it to your phone, it will bring out all the financial languages in Yoruba. And then, as somebody who is not learned, you can use Yoruba to transact and transfer money anywhere you want to do so. Handed over to us certificate of merit award for this outstanding innovative ideas. I want to challenge my colleagues. I look at the amount of money that Tesco has given to us for research in the last 12 years. It's about 358 million to Federal Polytechnic. What do we have to show for it? What do we have to show for it? But immediately I came up, I said the narrative must change. This money must not just get to private pocket and then you use it to pay your children's school fees and to use it to buy a car. The other when people will be disturbing me and say, when are you going to disburse the money? I say, she research not okay, now to buy anything. You see? The error is over. And when I came in, one of the vision of the rector is that we should have research clusters that will graduate to become an institute in the Federal Polytechnic. And I took that up, and today we have 13 research clusters, interdisciplinary research clusters. They are submitting their proposal, and we're going to disburse money in the tunes of 10 million or 5 million to each research cluster to be able to come out with innovative ideas that will solve problems in our society. I'm rounding up now. Through the help of the rector, I also came up with an idea, what I call innovative think tank committee. And I went through all the schools. I was able to select 23 erudite young scholars, not old school like myself. We have experience. We can create a conducive environment for the younger ones to try. Young guy, people like Henry, a lot of it, young guy, people who have, when we discuss with them, you know that these people, they are loaded upstairs. So we have that think tank, and they are coming up with good ideas. Before long, now you begin to see prototypes of their innovation, and then the Polytechnic Academy will be better for it. Okay, so I've spoken about this. I want to end by showing us, I don't know whether you're going to accept this or not, fastest growing economy in 2025. If you look at it, Nigeria is number 4. Fastest growing economy in 2025. Nigeria is number 4. This is by International Monetary Fund. But the question is, how has it translated to reduction in poverty, in hunger, in infrastructural development? As I live here, I leave that question to you to answer. Thank you very much.
trendybeats.com.
Nigeria is the 4th fastest growing economy in the world. How has that translated into our living? How? The question now is, how has that translated into our well-being? This is a puzzle we have to solve. Is our macro economy growing at the same pace with our micro economy? These are puzzles for us to solve. And I'm happy that this conference is taking place today because we'll begin to find solutions to some of these puzzles. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ologunde deserves another round of applause. Our lead paper presenter, Professor Ayodele Ajayi, is not physically here today, but is today represented by Professor Nemo Afolalu. Please come to this side of the hall. I think he just stepped out now, so I know he's around. Okay. Thank you very much. Please let's encourage him as he comes. Professor Afolalu is the director of Hydrogen Research Institute and equally the director of industrial collaboration and linkages. He is also another scholar and a scholar in his own right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take another break now, but this break is going to be the presentation of another award. And this award is going to no other person than the Chief Executive Officer of Tasty and Spices. And I'm sure a lot of us know him because he used to be part of us here. And to do the presentation of the award, we'll be inviting Dr. Remi Akiemi to please come do the presentation, while I invite my colleague, Ms. Oluborode, to come and take his citation.
A citation in honor of Engineer Olatunji Lawrence Adebayo, the head. Engineer Olatunji Lawrence Adebayo is a distinguished entrepreneur and an accomplished academic whose visionary leadership has transformed the landscape of the eateries industry. As the founder and CEO of the Ed Engineering Limited Block Production, Tasty and Spicy Eateries Multi-Ventures Limited, he has demonstrated exceptional innovation, commitment to quality, and an unwavering dedication to customer satisfaction, establishing the brand as a household name in Ekiti State, Nigeria. The tentacle of Tasty and Spicy Multi-Ventures business has spread to 4 different locations within Ado-Ekiti metropolis and 1 in Ikere-Ekiti. Shortly, the Ed Hospitality business is working on over 75-bedded room hotel with standard swimming pool and other accessories within the Ado-Ekiti metropolis. In addition to his remarkable achievements in business, Engineer Olatunji Lawrence Adebayo, an alumnus of the Federal Polytechnic Ado-Ekiti and University of Ilorin, Kwara State, is a respected former lecturer with over 20 years experience in the Department of Civil Engineering, the Federal Polytechnic Ado-Ekiti. He has inspired generations of students through passionate teaching, mentorship, and scholarly contributions, bridging the gap between academic, training, and real-world business practice. Engineer Olatunji's dual impact in entrepreneurship and academia stands as a testament to his dedication, expertise, and enduring influence in both fields. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Engineer Olatunji Lawrence Adebayo.
It's legendary indeed.
Sorry if there was a little mix-up there. I'd like to invite Dr. TJ Alake to do the presentation.
It's legendary indeed.
We are here again. Dr. Olatunji is a well-known person. Engineer Olatunji, there is a provision for honorary doctorate degree, so it's allowed. Engineer Olatunji, on behalf of the School of Engineering and the Polytechnic as a whole, you are hereby presented this award of excellence in appreciation of your invaluable contribution and support for humanity. Here, the award is.
Thank you very much. I would like to dedicate this award to this great institution, Federal Polytechnic Abeokuta, and to my department, Federal Polytechnic Abeokuta, and to my amiable wife, who is the engine of my business. I would like to appreciate at this junction the rector of the school. Over 20 years ago, when my vehicle was stolen, at that time, to gather 100,000 naira was a big deal. And I was able to gather 80,000. Together with my good friend, the Dean, we went to Akure. I bought my vehicle 80,000 naira. By the time it was 4 months later, the vehicle was stolen. As at that time, Abacha period. I have to appreciate the rector, a good friend. He volunteered his vehicle as at that time, over 20 years ago, that we should start looking for the vehicle. So we have to travel to Kogi State looking for the vehicle. So he volunteered, he gave us the vehicle, he himself drove, and at Shillong, the three of us traveled to Kogi State looking for the vehicle. I will, at this junction, have to appreciate him for what he has done. And again, I have to thank God for my department, Department of Civil Engineering. And again, I think I have to dedicate this award again to Mr. Mark Country, who was a former deputy rector, who brought my admission letter
into my father's house in 1984 as a student in Akure. And again in 1993, I was interviewed as a lecturer in his office. So I really give God the glory for all the people around me. It was a time of comfort. This my good friend comforting me when my vehicle was stolen and I was trekking. And I want to say that clearly was a signal or was what made me to be more focused. Because I couldn't get the vehicle again. Then I must do something to make life meaningful for myself. That was the reason why I went ahead to start a business. Again, why I have to appreciate the school is this. I joined the cooperative in Federal Polytechnic Advocate here. I've never borrowed a dime from the bank. It was through the cooperative that I joined in this school that I started my business with. I didn't borrow a dime from anywhere. So I have to appreciate God and appreciate the school. The people who run the cooperative during my period here, and because that was the money I used to start my business, and I'm where I am today by the grace of God because of what I was able to get from the Polytechnic. Now I want to say again that is nothing too little for you to start putting somewhere for your tomorrow. Like the Dr. Lukudo said, he said it was this thing I read from this business mogul, Razak Okoya. He said, what prompted him into business is this, because his father was a tailor. He said, anytime he sees businessmen, they are always well dressed. But when he sees civil servant, their clothes is always somehow, their suit is always, disjointed somehow. He said he made up his mind that I won't be like these people. Please, let not our own be like that. We can do something with the little we are earning from this very place. I don't have anybody to say, to say thank you for yesterday. No. I can only say thank God and thank Federal Polytechnic Advocate. Thank you. God bless you all.
Ferrari, this one no be under. Cause you live it for me, I still do wonder.
Wow. That's very, very, very inspiring. And I'm sure the head must have inspired some of us today. He must have inspired some of us today. From a very humble beginning, it has become a household name. I am inspired if you are not inspired. I am sure the students here are inspired. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another award presentation to make. We are now inviting our engineer, Dr. Stephen Ibijola, to please be upstanding while he is assisted by his wife, the better half. I want to quickly, before we do the presentation, to invite engineer and Mrs. Ogule Emmanuel to the high table. Engineer and Mrs. Ogule Emmanuel, please come take your seats at the high table. Thank you very much, sir. The citation of the citation has been taken in the past, so I want to humbly again invite the rector to do the presentation.
Money,
on behalf of the School of Engineering, Federal Polytechnic, this award of excellence is presented to Engineer Dr. Stephen Ibidola, MNC, MNICE, in recognition of his technical expertise. Also, here is presented the certificate of lead department presentation sent to Engineer Dr. Stephen Ibidola.
And to also receive a certificate paper presentation is Dr. Charles Ologunde. I am going to I'd like to invite Dr. Akinyemi to do the presentation.
The young ladies in our practice and mom is the babies.
Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of the Dean, School of Engineering, and the entire staff of the School of Engineering, I want to present this certificate of paper presentation to Dr. Charles Ologunde as a keynote presenter. So, congratulations.
Make sure you're not sleeping, make sure you're not sleeping. We stick on the vibe back to you. I come and kiss my point to be right now. Be sure to all articulate for Nigeria students to the building. They call me NCQ, big, you'll never see. How are you, girl?
All right. Now we are going to take a pause in our one position as we go into the next paper. As we go into the presentation of the next paper. As I invite Dr. I.S. Ayeni to please come take a citation of I'd like to invite Dr. I.S. Ayeni to please come take the citation of the next presenter. And that is Professor Ayodele Ebenezer Ajayi, represented today by Professor Neron Afolalu. Okay. Well, I guess Dr. Ayeni is not readily available, so I'm going to quickly take the citation now. As I invite Professor Ajayi, ably represented by Professor Afolalu, to please come standing, come to the right, to my left-hand side, and remain standing. Thank you very much. Professor Ajayi began his academic journey at the Federal University of Technology, Akure, where he earned a Bachelor of Engineering and a Master's of Engineering in Agricultural Engineering, specializing in soil and water resources engineering. Both degrees were obtained with distinction, laying the foundation of a stellar academic career. He later advanced his education with a doctorate of engineering in water resources and environmental engineering from the University of Bonn, Germany. His doctorate focused on environmental engineering and natural resources management, complemented by minors in development economics and development sociology, with an excellent grade. Further cementing his expertise, he completed a postdoctorate in soil physics at the Federal University of Lavras, Brazil. Professor Ajayi, FNIAE, FNSE, is a globally recognized scholar and a leading authority in agricultural and environmental engineering. He is currently the head of the Department of Agricultural and Environmental Engineering and the program lead of the Center for Renewable Energies and Environmental Technologies at the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Nigeria, with over 25 years of professional expertise spanning academia, public service, and the private sector. Professor Ajayi has made significant contribution to sustainable agriculture, renewable energy system, water resources management, climate smart innovations, and artificial intelligence application in resource management. He joined the roles include serving as head of intellectual property and technology transfer units and senior special assistant on special duties to the governor of Ekiti State between 2008 and 2010, where he revitalized key infrastructure projects such as the Ikudari Farm and the Akure and the Innovation and Technology under the Horizon Europe National Contact Persons Network in Nigeria. His expertise is also sought as a member of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, steering committee on People Health Initiative, and a member of the Board of Trustees of Afe Babalola University at Ekiti. Professionally, Professor Ajayi is a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and the Nigerian Institute of Agricultural Engineers. He is a registered engineer with the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Korea, and holds membership in American Society of Agricultural and Biological Engineers, the International Soil Tillage Research Organization, and and the African Academics Network. He is fluent in Yoruba, Hausa, English, Portuguese, and German. He bridges local and global academic, governmental, and industrial communities to foster impactful collaborations and innovative solutions. Professor Professor Ajayi's dedication to advancing agricultural engineering, environmental resource management, and renewable energy system underscores its position as a transformative leader in academia and beyond. His enduring legacy is one of innovation, mentorship, and unwavering commitment to addressing global challenges through sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Professor Ayodele Ajayi, ably represented today by Professor Nino Apolani.
Thank you very much. I want to acknowledge the director in absentia and the other principal management officer at the high table, and also the audience. And also, I also said the apology on behalf of Professor Ajayi that is unavoidably absent for a reason beyond his control. So we just want to throw light to the roles of science and technology in emerging green hydrogen. Now, in a layman understanding, we'll talk about green energy, because before we can talk about the roles of science and technology in emerging or green energy, we need to talk about what do you understand by this green energy. Green energy refers to energy derived from renewable and environmentally friendly sources. And a sample of this is solar. From solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, and biomass. And what is the reason or essence for even having this green energy? Why are we not satisfied with the electricity that we are using? Why are we going into producing energy even in this era? Number one is to reduce carbon emissions. When you go to so many advanced countries, you will see that most of the cars that are used presently, they are not on fuel. Most of them, they are electric, and they are also green energy. Hydrogen rather, which is one of the product of talk about the green energy. I just came from Manchester some days ago, and when you look at their cities, London and Manchester and other cities, you see that there are some area where in vehicle that use fuel or diesel, they are being restricted. Also in China, at least I was in China not quite long, also applicable also in Paris, France, that I also visited. So what it means is that the essence of green energy, it is something that is very important, especially in this current dispensation. So it's reduced carbon emissions, which is amount to waste or a pollution around the cities or the countries, and also it promotes sustainability and ensure energy access for all. When we're talking about to promote sustainability, now we're talking about diesel, we're talking about fuel, petrol. You can see what is happening with time. You will see that you see that the uses of this substance, will be so minimal, because there will be no dependence on them. So the goals is to promote sustainability and ensure energy access for all, because as individual is something that you can easily produce within your reach. Green energy, The role of technology. The role of technology. Now, we talk about energy generation. Because when we talk about green energy, we talk about hydrogen. It can't just emerge without some processes. Either just like the processes of production. So which means the role of technology in this regard is very, very crucial. You know, as you know that you can produce, you know, hydrogen, which is one of the green energy, from water. So which is, you know, abundantly, you know, available. So in energy generation, the role of technology is very, very, visible. And also under this we have the photovoltaics. That is the solar panels. You know, the one we generated from solar panels, the one we generated from solar panels, you know, we can also refer to this as also a green energy. And when you see that some of our students, postgraduate students, they have been working on some of those things locally, developing solar panel using agro waste, you know that for sustainability. So it's part of the impact of technology as an engineer, you know, as case may be. Also through wind turbines and hydroelectric system. And also in Harvard University, we depend solely on the gas. So we use gas for our own, to generate our own electricity. So we don't depend on national grids. We are off the national grid. So, and this is part of things we are talking about as the roles of technology, especially in the area of, you know, gas, you know, wind turbines and the hydroelectric systems. And it's another thing for us to have the energy, and that whatever, you must be able to store it. Talking about. So the storage is very important. Development of the batteries, you know, the lithiums or solid states, and also supercapacitors. That is very common. Also, in the area of smart grids and the Internet of the Things. These are things that very important as regard the rules of energy. I mean, the rules of technology. So we have to look at that. Now we move forward. Now, what is Africa's secret weapon? Africa's secret weapon in this energy race. Now, we are talking about emerging of this green energy. We are not just talking about only Nigeria. We are talking about the energy. I mean, we are talking about, you know, the Africa as a whole. Now, you can see the continent has potential to flip the scripts, transitioning from a fossil fuel consumer to green energy, but often overshadowed by solar and wind. And this renewable source is increasingly crucial for a sustainable future. So now, because we are talking about this, we want to look at what is the perspectives, or what is the position of this energy, green energy we are talking about in Africa. So the current global hydrogen market is over $130 billion US dollar. The World Bank predicts an annual growth of over 9%, although the surge is likely reached until 2030. So what it means is that the world governments, you know, industries, you know, banks, they spend more, you know, money on, especially when it comes to the area of this green energy. So, and especially in the area of the hydrogen, there was one study that we did not quite long. you know, and it was, you know, being led by Professor Ayodele Ajayi. So within the German government and Nigeria, which, you know, I was also part of the resource person. You know, for just study of that, it's almost like 500 million, yes, 500 million naira. So just to study. So what it means is that these are things that really has come to stay, and that as science and technology, you know, has a great role or impact, especially in sustainability of this hydrogen of energy, green energy. Now, as the world stands on the brink of pivotal moment in rise against climate change, hydrogen energy emerge as a powerful and as a clean, carbon-free source of energy. Hydrogen can replace fossil fuel in various sectors, leading to a dramatic reduction in generation gas emission. So, and you know, in the SDG 7, the sustainable development goal, that is the clean and affordable energy. So, and these are things that could also be sustained through green energy. Now, you see, I'll start to limit myself to hydrogen because, you know, we're talking about green energy. The area where we are, you know, investing more now is area of hydrogen. Because talking about solar is something that is very common. You know, everybody in his house, we have solar. No matter either small or big, we have solar panel everywhere. Even our phone, we use solar. But we talk about the area of energy, hydrogen, that is not really common. And that is where the research is seriously, turning towards. You know, and you know where I work in Africa University, which I know I'm the current the director of Hydrogen Research Institute. You know, because we see that the science and technology in the area of their impact on to sustain or to bring into limelight, because it's something we have not even gotten it, but it's something that we have to emerge and then talk about the sustainability, which is also very important. Now, what are the classifications? You know, we have brown, you know, hydrogen, we have grey hydrogen, we have blue hydrogen, and we have green hydrogen. So all this depends on the source and also the presence of the level of carbon, and also, you know, that is present in these different types. Now, talk about the production. Most methods of producing hydrogen involve splitting of water. You know, it's very common. We have the electrolyzer, we have the fuel cells, you know, and this can be powered by through wind turbine, can be powered by even solar, you know, to generate this green energy called green energy called hydrogen. So, and also steam reforming to convert methane into hydrogen and also carbon monoxide by reactions with steels over a catalyst. So, and some of these things, especially, you know, some of our students have done a lot of things around this, and they wish at least with a little amount hydrogen has been generated. So, the production methods, because to talk about their impacts, we must talk about what are the methods. The method will be photobiological systems, you know. So, like, there's one project that one of my students did, you know, through using light, you know, to generate, through using zero of light with a power by solar panel to generate hydrogen. So it's photobiological. You can also use photobiological systems. Biological systems, that is through using biomass feedstocks into hydrogen. Also, thermal water splitting uses a very high temperature to split water. So this is, you know, a common thing that we are familiar with. We also have gasification, that you use it to break down biomass or coal into gas from which pure hydrogen can be generated. So you can see here some of the talking about green energy, some of the fossil resources, the biomass waste, and the hydrogen, the water splitting. Because all these, they are some of the sources, especially in generating green energy. Now, and then talk about the transformation. Green energy is used mostly in everywhere. It's used in agriculture. There's also one project that we embark on. Is also a study, conversion of hydrogen to ammonia, for fertilizer. So, and it's also a study, and this, we want to see how some of this energy can be sustainable, even using it as as getting fertilizer as part of the products in the production process. Also in industrial applications, in natural gas, in transportations, and also in our domestic appliances. It can also be used. Now, after we have, as a science, as an engineer, we have prepared so much, to ensure that we have this in reality, to have this green energy. What are the benefits? What are the benefits? When I was coming, because I was just coming from Lagos straight to this place, and a branch to buy fuel. NNPC, you see that about almost 15 or 10 pumps, no customer. They are chasing customer to come and buy fuel. That is the kind of things we are talking about. We're talking about. We get into a time, that you park your car too, that you trek. But in the margin of this green energy, some of this problem will be solved. Now, what are one of the benefits? Stable, locally produced energy will boost energy security. Hydrogen power, high temperature industries. Okay, like that number one, like you see that some of our CCTV cameras, they are being powered by solar. So if there's no extent of solar or green energy, it will be difficult. Where you don't have light, no electricity through through the grid. So it will be difficult even for CCTV to work, because to get the time that it will get flattened. So, but talk about this stability is stable for local production. Also, it's also power high temperature industries like cement, and we are using them now for power, for powering of appliances, and also big, equipment. Also, hydrogen economy can create thousands of jobs. Yes, it creates thousands of jobs, because within your facility you can be able to produce it. You have to produce green hydrogen. So that is why you see for some organization, they are out of grids, of natural grids, they produce green energy themselves. And this is what we are talking about as the visibility of the roles of science and technology, especially in this emerging of green hydrogen. Also, hydrogen economy can create thousands of jobs. I've mentioned that. Green energy also enables rural electrification. So you can see that there's a project that was done not quite long in East, one of the university, that there are farm lands, where we put greens, we put solar, to generate, energy. Also there are car parks, being, all over to generate solar energy. So what it means is that, it enables the rural electrification. So it's only not really limited by the cities to enjoy the light or energy. Also, green ammonia, improves agricultural productivity, as I mentioned. and as I mentioned, that's still part of things that we can generate from this green energy, and also reduces emissions. You know, if you see the number of lives that the last ones of it will be reduced daily. You know, because instead of this CO2 emission, and you can look at it. You know, we have some cases where some people, they will on generator, they will be inside the room and they will be choked with the CO2 and they will die. So what it means is that because that took a long time and it was so, you know, enormous, but what of the gradual taking of this, inhaling this kind of CO2, you know what it means in the long runs. So it's reduced emission, it supports Paris Accord NDC. So what are the challenges? Talk about the roles, you know, of science, and we'll talk about challenges. What are the challenges? No national, you know, green policy, green energy policy, let me put it like that, needs regulatory frameworks. You know, I've attended, you know, so many, conferences, workshops, you know, especially on talking about this green energy. This is what, you know, it has, you know, always been mentioned. Especially in Nigeria, we need a regulatory frameworks. You know, you can see that before. Individual cannot just say you want to generate electricity on your own. It has to come from NEPA at that time. But now, change. We have independently, you know, electricity because it has been, you know, accommodated, you know, has allowed that. So the same way for green energy, that has to also be, you know, looked into. Inadequate infrastructure, you know, because we are talking about generating green energy without preparing where you want to store it. So that's the problem we have, that even you see sometimes say, ingredients is very cheap now, and the tomato that we got like a bucket, maybe 1,000, 2,000 sometimes, it will be another month, you can buy the same bucket. You know, 20,000. So, but the storage is very important, and because as individual, we are not talking about government, talking about as an engineer, what things that we can do to ensure we sustain this through having a good storage. So, high project costs, skill gap in emerging energy tech and public education, just like the way we are doing now for awareness. Now, what are the future direction roadmap? Develops a national hydrogen roadmap, form, you know, Nigeria Hydrogen Innovation Council, launch pilot projects, buses, upgrades, and presently, you know, our institutes, we are part of the Africa Hydrogen Partners, you know, that control all the green energy hydrogen, especially in Africa, in which Professor Ajayi is also one of the strong member in that regard. So the roadmap now, what are the strategy? You know, sometimes some of us will talk about hydrogen, say, where can we find hydrogen? What are things that we are doing? But talk about impacts. We are science individuals, we are scientists, we are engineers. What are the roles? What are the things that we are doing? What are the strategy to ensure that we bring some of these things, you know, into sustainability in this emerging? At African University, you know, we have already established a research institute, you know, that's making us one of the first institutions in West Africa with the, you know, and with this commitment, especially in this area of hydrogen. This have, you know, has really helped me to travel, you know, both within and outside, especially because there is a state that we are talking about now. It's not just talking about action has been taken to ensure that some of these things is readily available, and designing low cost. Okay, I have 7 minutes more. Thank you. So, deciding low-cost, scalable electrolyzers, working on hydrogen power mobility, partnering with global research institutes, registered as a member of Africa Hydrogen Partners. That is one of the things that an organization of international conferences, summits, you know, on clean energy in Africa, and also we also believe that Nigeria hydrogen futures begin in our own classrooms, and our laboratories. And that's what we are trying to bring out to limelight for us to understand that it's not to travel to UK, America, Germany before we can have some of these things in place. Just as we are getting them refined within our reach, at least single person, Dangote has a refinery. So what it means is that it's of high and good cost to have that. But with this kind of green energy, if we can support it, something that is sustainable within your family can generate it, and it will be also be sustainable. Key stakeholders help studies and for accelerating transformation of existing assets and improve regional modeling of optimal portfolios like electric and gas sector of project connecting green energy or industrial hubs. So Sergeant pathway still continue. So, but in a nutshell, as a scientist, as an engineer, we must begin now in ensure that we action on, especially ensure that clean energy is being emerging and also be sustainable. Conclusion. Green energy as always clean, strategic, and not science fiction. And we must act now, not be spectators. And there is risk of inaction, stagnation, climate, energy, poverty. So that's why we are looking at studying now on how we can use some of the existing, some of the refineries that we have. We know that we can look at how we can use some of the old facility that can incorporate some of those things to generate green energy instead of some of those facilities to be live value without any action being taken on them. And the benefit of action that is just growth, clean air and stability. And all stakeholders will join the hydrogen revolution. Let history remember we saw the future and also we built it. So that should be our slogan as a scientist and as an engineer. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Prof. You see that Professor Afolalu knows his calling. He knows his onions. No wonder he is the Director of Hydrogen Research Institute and also the Director of International Collaboration and Linkages at Afe University. Thank you very much for doing justice to these people. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to continue with the award presentation. I would like to invite Engineer Ogunleye Emmanuel, assisted by his spouse, to please come up for his award. Engineer Emmanuel is a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. But before we do the presentation, would like to take his citation. My colleague will do that for us.
Citation of Engineer Emmanuel Ogunleye. The man, Engineer Emmanuel Ogunleye, hails from Oguayegunle in the Ekiti local government area of Kwara State. He had his elementary education, both primary and secondary, at Sapia Primary School and Government Secondary School, respectively. His higher education journey began in 2005 at the Federal Polytechnic at Ado-Ekiti, where he badged his higher national diploma HND with a distinction grade in civil engineering in 2010 and won the Rector's Award for Departmental Best Student. He then proceeded to the Federal University of Technology, Akure, FUTA, for his postgraduate diploma, PGD, and Masters of Engineering, where he badged another distinction grade in Civil and Environmental Engineering in 2017 and Structural Engineering 2023, respectively. Professionally, he is a registered civil engineer with the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, CORE, a fellow of the following professional bodies: Fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow Nigerian Institute of Civil Engineers, Fellow Nigerian Association of Technologists in Engineering, and Fellow Chartered Institute of Management and Leadership. He had worked and consulted for several construction companies across the length and breadth of this country, handling series of projects ranging from building construction, hydraulic structures construction to road construction. He's a great researcher with numerous publications, amongst which are Value Management in the Nigerian Construction Industry, Challenges and Prospects, Investigation of the Role of Road Transport in the Nigerian Economy, and Application of Nanomaterials in Highway Pavements. Presently, Engineer Emmanuel Ogunleye is the CEO of the Emmanuelsta Global Services and Emmanuelsta Construction and Engineering Limited. He authored a book titled Hope for the Hopeless, which is the autobiography in celebration of his 40th birthday. He is the youngest Nigerian engineer to hold 4 different fellows of major engineering professional bodies at age 38 and 39. Please give him a round of applause. He is the chairman, CEO of Engineer Emmanuel Ogunleye Foundation, a foundation that was founded to help the less privileged in our society, especially in academic and education. Engineer Emmanuel Ogunleye is happily married and blessed with children. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Engineer Emmanuel Ogunleye.
You know what time we are set, you know?
And I'd like to invite our host, the Chairman Committee of Deans, to do the presentation of the award.
On behalf of School of Engineering and the local organizing committee of this conference, I present to you this award.
You know what time it is? We are set. Can I just show my teeth here?
Permit me to stand on existing protocol. The rector in absentia are not the principal officers of the Polytechnic. The dean, School of Engineering, are not the principal officer of the school. Let me be biased. My HOD Civil Engineering Department and all my lecturers here present. This is a great honor. I was in this school 20 years ago as an OND1 student, and the present HOD was my structural engineering lecturer, Engineer Dr. Nadako. The man that was giving award before now, popularly called the head, was my lecturer, as busy as anything. And I can see our former HOD, Engineer Dr. Falui here. I want to say thank you to all this. I call them mentor because as a civil engineer, when the foundation is faulty, then you have a great task ahead. I want to thank them for the great foundation they laid for us. And I want to tell the entire school of engineering that I am in industry, and I can say for a fact that the students of federal ability are doing well. I have worked with several companies, and there is no any university counterpart that can stand anywhere you have a polytechnic, especially at Ekiti when it comes to field work. I am very, very proud of the foundation we have. I left this school at 15 years ago in 2010. Olofituyi was my classmate. We both graduated with distinction in the school together. But there is one thing. In HND1, I came from a very poor background. I have to go and work before I can get my school fees. But in HND1, there is an award called Rector Award at every matriculation. And I was privileged to receive from the then Dr. Titi Akande as the rector 10,000 naira. That money means a lot. And as I'm standing here today, I have asked the permission of the dean and the school that I will award to each departmental best student of the 5 schools that have HND a sum of 50,000 naira each. Why do we have to do this? In our own time, my father stopped paying my school fees at age 17. He doesn't have at age 17. So I have to struggle. But in this present age, where a 17-year-old boy wants to ride a Benz his father cannot even ride. Now the slogan everywhere is education is a scam. But I want our students to learn that education is never a scam. And I am saying this. I gave education a personal definition, and I define it as an escape route from poverty. And definition number 2 is an escape route from ignorance, which is the most deadly disease in life. I want to encourage our students. When you are right in school, there are difference between sources and good sources. We don't know. Oh, I just passed out. No. Strive to have a good sources. I don't have any background. I don't have anything. But I have my life and I have this school. Abuja hostel. To my class, to my fellowship, focusing on my education. If I show you my transcript, any course I score 68, I target fail in my record. That is a fail. Any 68 on my score is a fail. My pass mark starts from 70 mark, and that's the benchmark I earn myself. When I got to FUTA, Professor Aaron was like, "Who is this?" I scored 100 almost in all the courses because the background. So I want to challenge the students. No matter the yahoo, you can never compare anything with education in life. Where you see an airline standing and illiterate will look like someone. No matter your money. So I want to challenge us this afternoon that our education is very crucial. Hold it tight. That is your lifeline. after graduation. And I can say for a fact, engineering student that said in Nigeria I couldn't find work doesn't know what he's doing. As I'm standing here, every blessed day, I have a lot of industry that be calling me. We need somebody from you because they know I will give them the best. People are looking for who to employ. We say there is no job, but I can tell you for the fact that we have a lot of job. What we don't have is the quality of the employee that is lacking. Permit me to call. Permit me to call the first school of engineering and bioengineering, the best students in that department, HND level, the best student, Assis Seinab. When I call my wife, my wife.
It's all about Christ. It's all about respect. It's all about recognition. It's all about specific lifestyle.
I want to invite the former Dean, School of Engineering, Dr. Emmanuel Adeosun, to please come out and do the presentation.
Be sure to my focus on love in the you want that ladies and gentlemen.
The best students in the Department of Agric and Bioenvironmental Engineering, the School of Engineering is presenting this gift, cash gift, as an encouragement for you to do more. This donation comes from this man who happens to be the ex-student of this polytechnic.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have a cash gift of 50,000 naira each of the students. This award is courtesy of Engineer Ogule, an ex-student of the Department of Civil Engineering. And the next awardee is Papa Repo Abibola from the Department of Civil Engineering.
This package is from Engineer Oguleye to the best student in the Department of Civil Engineering during the occasion of this School of Engineering conference.
It's all about class. It's all about respect. It's all about recognition. It's all about just the last time being in the house. We sing down, right? Sit down.
The next awardee is from Electrical Electronics Engineering, Samuel Noah Oluwafemi. Samuel Noah Oluwafemi.
the best students in the Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Federal Polytechnic.
The next awardee is from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Aluko Victor Uwaka.
A card gift from Engineer Ogunleye to the best students in the Department of Mechanical Engineering.
We have for Minerals and Petroleum Resources Engineering.
As a motivation to engineering students from Engineer Ogunleye, this is another cash gift to the best students in Empress.
Yet is a real star. All morning, welcome to the nation. All morning, welcome to the nation. All morning, hey, welcome to the nation. We have star. We have star. We have star. The youngest in that ship was suddenly the wheel
Ladies and gentlemen, now you can see cash award, not check, not transfer, but physical cash of 50,000 each. Not 50,000 to all of them, but 50,000 each. That means that if you do well, the sky is not just the limit, but the starting point. The awardees would like to take group photograph with with Engineer Ogunleye and his wife. Please come. The awardees would like to take group photograph with Engineer Ogunleye and his wife.
Here we go. It's all about class. It's all about money. It's all about respect. It's all about recognition. It's all about expensive lifestyle. We are set tonight. Make sure you are not thinking, are you ready? It is bad, and it is lifestyle. It is bad, and it is digital. It is bad, it is lifestyle. We are
Thank you, DJ. I can see you have itchy fingers. Ladies and gentlemen, and now to bring the award presentation to a conclusive end, we'd like to present a certificate of presentation to Professor Ajayi, ably represented by Professor Afolalu. And to do the presentation, the Dean, School of Engineering, will do it.
Martin project in Nigeria students. Don't forget we see us as we stick on the kilometers. We stick on the kilometers. Come on.
On behalf of School of Engineering and the local organizing committee, I present to you a certificate of paper presentation. Thank you.
Agak panik selesai. Ibu, agak panik selesai. Hey, DJ Kiss with the keys. 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 Hey, get it on down, get it on down, get it on down, get it on down. Io mi sono scelto let's go lady.
Thank you very much. We have keynote number 2, but these will be sent to, that is the presentation that is supposed to take place, to come from Gambia. These will be sent to all the platforms, both the video and the paper presentation itself. So you can go, when you will find it on the platforms. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, and so quickly have come to the end of the opening ceremony of the 2nd International Conference of Engineering and Earth Sciences. And immediately after the vote of thanks would devolve into the technical session. And to properly thank us all for coming, I'd like to invite the chairman of the LOC, Engineer Dr. Omotayo, to come do the vote of thanks.
I want to thank, starting on the existing protocol, I want to appreciate the rector in absentia, the principal officers that were present, and the Dean, School of Engineering, for giving us the opportunity to run this program. And we also want to appreciate our HOD for their support. In fact, they have really done well. Please let me, I want you to applaud them, please. Give them applause. I want to also appreciate my colleagues for your support, for coming for this opening ceremony. And I want to encourage us that please let us stay till we finish the program, both for today and tomorrow. I want to encourage all of us. I want to also appreciate our partners for their support. A lot of people have donated through this, for the success of this program. You agree with me that what you are seeing is greater than what you are putting. So we have no option than to what? Appreciate them for their contributions. The likes of Tasty and Spices, AAP Nigeria Limited, Engineer Fatukasi Tope, Engineer Ogulaye, and the rest. And to the students, I want to appreciate you for coming because you have really made this program a wonderful one. Please kindly applaud them. Clap for yourself, student. You have really made us proud today, and I pray that Lord will continue to be with you. You will also excel. I believe you have seen there is a testimony today from Engineer Ogulaye. If he can succeed, I believe you too as a student. If somebody like me as a student, I also graduated from this school. If I can succeed, I believe you also succeed in Jesus' name. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Now, we are now going to break into the technical session. And the program continues even tomorrow. And after the program, we shall come up with a communique. After the program, we will come up with a communique. Thank you. But to properly bring this session to a close, I invite to give us a closing prayer. Engineer Fanny to please come give us a closing prayer.
Everlasting Father, King of glory, we appreciate you this day for what you have done for us in the School of Engineering. Thank you for the awards. Thank you for the awardees. Thank you for the presentations. Thank you, Father, for everything we have done today. Be thou exalted in Jesus' name. As we continue the technical section of this conference, we commit everything to your holy hands. Holy Ghost, take perfect control in Jesus' name. At the end of the day, Lord, what we have gained in this conference, grant us the grace to impart it to the society for good in the name of Jesus. Thank you because answer our prayers. In Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you very much. Before we go, please kindly go to page 18 of the program. Page 18.